Hello and welcome to Math Fun. I know you guys say it's not fun, but I do have some shout outs to do at the end of the video, so make sure you stay tuned. All right, so we should already have our formula on our paper. So what we do for our formula is I always write this scale that they give me on the left side of my proportion. And then on the right side of the proportion, I put the model over the actual. All right, and you can do it in colors or not, that's your choice. But so you know, the first number to the last number, this is just a ratio, is then going to become the first over the last. Okay, so with that being said, let's jump right into these examples. So the first one says, if the scale is 2 centimeters equals 25 meters, what is the length of the missing measurement on the scale drawing given an actual length of 150 meters? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up our proportion. And on the left side, I always write the scale that they gave me. So they told me that 2 centimeters is equal to 25 meters. Okay. And so then I'm going to take my model, says it's centimeters. Well, I don't have any other measurement with centimeters. It says it's missing the scale drawing. Okay, so I'm looking for this. The number it did give me is 150 meters. So since I have meters on the bottom, the 150 meters is going to go on the bottom and X is on top. Okay, so now that I have my proportion, you guys should be proportion pros by now. We're going to multiply the number in the diagonal without our variable. So we're going to do 2 times 150 equals 25 times X. And then you're going to divide by the number with X, right? So I know that 15 times 2 is 30. So 150 times 2 is 300. So I have 300. And then I need to divide it by 25, okay? So there's 4 quarters in a dollar. So there's 4 in 100. There's 4 more in a second hundred. There's 4 more in the third hundred. So there's 12. So we're going to do X equals 12. And since it's here up on top, we're going to say X equals 12 centimeters, okay? Pretty easy. Let's keep going. So on a map, 1 inch represents 20 miles. If the distance between Atlanta, Georgia and Nashville, Tennessee is 12.5 inches on a map, what is the actual distance between the cities? So I know I'm setting up a proportion and it gives me here 1 inch represents or equals 20 miles. So I have 1 inch and 20 miles. Okay, so then I see inches is on top, and look here, I see 12.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the 12.5 on top because it's inches. And then it's asking, it says, what is the actual? Look up here, actual's on the bottom, so I'm going to go ahead and put an X there. Now that our proportion's set, we're going to go ahead and do our cross product. So we multiply the diagonal without our variable first, so 20 times 12.5, and that's going to equal 1 times X. So that's just going to equal X. Look at that, that's so handy. All right, so let me do 12.5 times 20, and 12.5 has more digits, although 20 is a bigger number, so I'm going to put 12.5 on top. 0 times anything is 0. And now I'm multiplying the second number, so 2 times 5 is 10, 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 1 times 2 is 2, Add it up. It's 2,500. I have one number to the right of the decimal, so one number to the right of the decimal. Okay, so x is equal to 250. And since it's here on the bottom, we have x is equal to 250 miles. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and check out the next one. The next one says, if the scale of a drawing is 1/3 of an inch equals 15 feet, what is the actual measurements for an item that's drawn to 9 inches? Okay, so again, they gave us our scale. So we're going to draw our proportion bars and fill in our scale. So I have 1/3 of an inch is equal to 15 feet. So now I'm going to fill in what I know. So it's an item is drawn. So the drawing means it's going to be in inches. So 9 inches goes on top with these inches. That means I'm going to be looking for my actual, right? So now we have a proportion. We're going to go ahead and solve it. So we have 15 times 9, and that's going to equal 1/3 x, okay? So 15 times 9, 9 times 5 is 45, 9 plus 4 is 13. So I have 135 is equal to 1/3 x, okay? So this is saying 1/3 times x, okay? So that's basically saying I have this item and I'm taking 1/3 of it. So I'm actually cutting it in 3 pieces, which means I'm dividing it by 3. So it's kind of saying 1x divided by 3, all right? And I need to get rid of this 3. That the 1 can stay, right? Because 1 times the number is itself. So I need to get rid of the dividing by 3. So the opposite of dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and take 135 and I'm going to multiply times 3. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. 1 times 3 is 3 plus 1 is 4. So I have that x is equal to 405. And I know that since it's on the bottom, I'm going to take those. So 405 feet is the actual. All right, so just a couple more examples. So this next one says, Jessica drew a scale drawing of her bedroom on a giant poster board. If her actual bedroom is 16 feet long and 10 feet wide, what will be the dimensions of her drawing? Jessica plans to use a scale factor of 0.25. Okay, so something that we learned today is that scale factor. So scale factor means to multiply. Hopefully you can tell that's multiplying. That's multiplying. Okay, so it wants the dimensions of the whole room. So I suggest we make a drawing. So it says the length is 16 feet. The width is 10 feet. Okay, and my scale factor is 0.25. So that means that I need to multiply my dimensions times 0.25. Okay, so let's start with the first one. So I have 10 times 0.25. 5 times 0, 1 times 5 is 5, 0, 0, 2, 0, 5, 2, 1, 2. So I have my new dimensions are going to be, so 2.5 here. And then this other one here I had was 16. So I'm going to do 16 times 0.25. 5 times 6 is 30. 5, 6, 7, 8. 0. 2 times 6 is 12. 1 times 2 is 2 plus 1 is 3. I'm going to add them. 0, 8, 9, 10, 4, 2 to the right. And so I have a value of 4. So my dimensions, so feet long, so it was 16 feet long. So it's going to be 4 feet long. And then I had, it said 10 feet wide. So it's going to be 2.5 feet wide. Okay. All right, moving right along. It says a picture has a side length of 14 and a half inches. The picture is dilated, which basically means, think about like your eyes are getting, if you go to the eye doctor, get your eyes dilated, like the pupils get larger. So it's getting bigger at a scale factor of 2.5 to create a new picture. What is the side length of the new picture? So again, here we are drawing a picture, and it has 14 and a half. Okay, so I don't like to work with fractions. I know half, like half of $1 is 50 cents, so that's the same as 14.5, right? And then it says that it is dilated with a scale factor of 2.5. So that means all I'm going to do is multiply by 2.5. So I have 14.5 times 2.5. 5 times 5 is 25, 22, 5, 6, 7, 0, 10, 8, 9, 2, add them up, 5, 2, 16, 3. There's 2 numbers to the right, 2 numbers to the right. So it's going to be 36.25 inches. Okay. All right, so we learned that we're going to set up a proportion when we are provided with a scale, right? And then we also learned that the word scale factor means we just have to multiply. So down here, you guys have some practice problems. The first set gives you a scale drawing is 1/4 inch equals 15 feet. You're gonna find the actual measurements. So we're going to set up a proportion when we're given scale factor for each of these problems. And it says 1/4 inch is equal to 15 feet. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take, this is 9 inches. So I have inches on top. So I'm going to put 9 inches here. The next time I'd put 12 inches, 14 inches, right? And I'm missing the actual. It says, what is the actual? So you're going to put your X down there each time. You're going to do your cross product and solve. So I'll do one example with you. So 15 times 9 times 5 is 45. 9 plus 4 is 13. So I have 135. Right? And then we just learned that if it's multiplying by 1/4 is the same as dividing by 4. So the opposite is to multiply times 4, or 4 over 1. So I'm going to take 135 and multiply times 4. 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 4 is 12. 13, 14. Sorry, I have a kid sitting on me now. 1 times 4 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So the first one is going to be that X equals 540. So that is going to go here. Okay, so you guys can finish the rest using this proportion. Like I said, you're just changing out the top number. Okay, the bottom, it says scale factor is 0.4. So you're going to just take your number and multiply times 0.4. So 5 times 4 is 0, 22, 4, 5, 6, one number to the right, so we have 62. Okay, and you guys are gonna finish those up on your own. I do have some shout outs to do. So hey Julio, then Ricardo, Angel, Daniel, Roger, Josh, and Ruby all sent me nice notes on YouTube. So hope everybody's having a good day and keep up the great work.